If anything is certain on La Vuelta, it is that any stage involving the Formigal proves to be dramatic. While the weather was always going to hamper proceedings, we didn't manage to get ourselves off to France during this Vuelta, but a double loop today, including a double test before the big climb up the Formigal itself, was always going to draw a breakaway. Two uncategorized bumps early on in that opening loop meant that a breakaway had its chance. Cavagna, Kort Nielsen and Mertz decided that they were going to give a test. There were various incarnations of the break, but in the end 23 riders formed a supergroup up the road. Took a long time to get there, the peloton never quite sure how much talent was going to be up the road. In the end, it turned out to be plenty. Well, that drew a response, and a defensive one as well, I guess. With so many riders up the road, some of whom could take over the virtual classification lead, including Gorka Izagirre, the temptation was to chase them down. Well, holding them on a long leash, Jumbo-Visma did an awful lot of work. Maybe too much. Nobody was tempted to help out. Israel Startup Nation occasionally came and did some duty. Likewise, Ineos Grenadiers suggested they would help, but kind of tucked in. The rain came, and the accord amongst the breakaway riders started to dissolve. Gorka Izagirre pushed on. That was the first opening salvo of what was to be an unhappy accord amongst the breakaway. That was to start to break down, and likewise behind as we went over the climbs. Guillaume Martin was chasing on to Gorka Izagirre for those mountains points. But in the group of favourites, with that gap starting to narrow at 3.5 minutes, well, there was some incidents. Not least Primož Roglič, who was to get himself a technical, and as a result he was forced to chase on. Meanwhile, Gorka Izagirre was having some fun out front. Would he be caught by the breakaway riders? Yes, is the answer. Meanwhile, in the group of favourites, the pace was changed for Movistar, who were working, naturally enough, for Enric Mas, leader in the Young Riders classification. They pushed on, but, well, they didn't realise that they were fatiguing Mas himself, as Roglič was trying to get back on to that group of favourites. Well, Roglič was busy burning out his teammates. They'd done a lot of the chase earlier on in the day, as Gorka Izagirre up front was welcomed back into what was a much thinned down group of 7 riders, including his brother Jon. Further back down the mountain, Hugh Carthy set off. Both he and Richard Carapaz were making a statement. Roglič may well have wrestled his way back into the pack of favourites, but really the cost was a high one. He and Dan Martin racing together. Chavez was there as well, as Richard Carapaz and Hugh Carthy pushed on, they sensing that there may well be a change of lead, but which one of them would indeed take control of the race? Jon Izagirre, who'd been able to rest up because of his brother Gorka's efforts, crossed the line to take a stage win, adding to wins in the Tour de France and the Giro d'Italia. Et voilà! Fabulous result for the Izagirre household and for Astana. Mick Woods of EF Pro Cycling coming home in second place, but Hugh Carthy it was that burst away from Richard Carapaz to steal an important amount of seconds that would elevate him to second place. Carapaz would take the lead of this race because Primož Roglič was distanced. He still on the overall podium. This is how the stage finished, with Izagirre ahead of Woods, Costa, Power, Michael Valgren, Guillaume Martin, Cataneo, and then Hugh Carthy in 8th place. Absolutely remarkable. So Jon Izagirre gets his stage win, famously so. The lead did change, but stayed amongst the favourites at the start of the day. Richard Carapaz taking overall control. Hugh Carthy 18 seconds in arrears. Dan Martin down to 3rd, but 20 seconds still close. And Primož Roglič half a minute down, with Enric Mas, the leader of the Young Riders competition, just over a minute in arrears. A new leader in a great race on a great day. The rest day then, a lot to ponder, I guess you might say. And then stage 7. A loop twice over the same Category 1 climb, and then a run for the line. Who will get there first? Nobody knows. That's what makes this race so amazing. La Vuelta, nothing like it.